Hi, good day and welcome to our math class for today's topic. So we have trigonometric functions of special angles, and we call this also as circular functions. So let's start. Okay, so the objective of our today's topic is to find the value of trigonometric function. So this is the endpoint. So I'm going to show you a chart. So ito yung magsaserve as our guide in our discussion or all throughout the discussion. So trigonometric function starts with the unit circle. So kaya tinawag din siya na circular functions. So itong mga trigonometric function na to, we derive this from unit circle. So I'm going to explain that later. So after that, so we have to know the family of special angles. So we have family of 30, 45, 60, and quadrantal. So after knowing the family of special angles, so we have to determine the coordinates of special angles. And in determining the coordinates of the special angles, it is also important to know the quadrant because the coordinates, when we know the quadrant, will tell us if the coordinates are positive or negative. And of course, the last one will be finding the value of trigonometric function. So this is the unit circle. So the definition of unit circle, it is a circle with a radius of 1 unit. So that's why it is called unit circle. So if we're going to take a look at the figure, so ang circle po ay nasa Cartesian plane. Okay? Since we're going to identify certain coordinates, so dapat yung circle or yung unit circle ay nasa Cartesian plane. So I'm going to explain this figure. So kung mapapansin po ninyo, so we have here the radius. So this is the center and then center to any point on the circle. So we will be able to create radius. And ang measurement nito ay 1. Okay? So hindi yan magbabago. So laging 1. So kahit saan man yung radius, 1 yung measurement nun. And then, for example, if this is the given theta, so we have here the coordinates, or the point rather. And then each point, of course, in a Cartesian plane, so meron po yung coordinates. Ngayon, based dito sa figure natin, parang ano na to parang spoiler na to, no? Kasi sinasabi dito na ang cosine ay ang x-coordinate at ang sine theta ay ang y-coordinate. Kasi di ba in coordinates, so it is composed of x and y coordinates. So the first one is cosine, so yun yung x, and then yung sine theta, yun yung y. So spoiler na yan, okay? So now, if we're going to take a look, so ito yung y value natin, of course. So parallel yan dun sa y-axis. So yun yung y. And of course, this will be the x value, yung horizontal part. So I think familiar na kayo dyan, di ba? So we have here the x-axis and then the y-axis. Of course, kung ano yung horizontal, yun yung x, and then kung ano yung vertical, yun yung y. Okay, so if you're going to take a look here in the unit circle, so we can form a triangle, specifically a right triangle. So yan po, di ba? So nakabuo tayo ng right triangle. So that's why nagkaroon tayo dito ng, nakaderive tayo ng tinatawag nating trigonometric function. Okay, now, so paano natin makukuha yung value ng mga or equivalent ng mga trigonometric function? Then if we will go back to trigonometric ratio, so alam nyo na yun, di ba? So alam nyo na rin yung SOHCAHTOA. So we're going to use that knowledge in identifying here the 6 trigonometric function. Now, so the value of radius here is 1. So kompleto na yung yung value ng mga sides. Of course, we have the x value and then y value and then the hypotenuse. So hypotenuse po yung 1, di ba? Kasi nga katapat yan ng right angle. And ano ang ating opposite side dito? So ito yung given angle natin, ang opposite side natin ay y and then ang adjacent side natin ay x. So later on makikita rin natin or maintindihan nyo kung bakit naging x yung cosine and then yung sine theta ay y. Now, so let's have a review. So SOHCAHTOA. So pag SOHCAHTOA, sine theta, so opposite over hypotenuse. Ngayon, so let's go back here in the figure. So we have here the given theta, and then let's try to identify the opposite and the hypotenuse. And then that will be our sine theta. Ngayon, so ang opposite natin ay y, and then ang hypotenuse natin ay 1. So nakuha na. So therefore, ang value ng sine theta ay y over 1. So opposite yung y, hypotenuse yung 1. So that's why we have y over 1. And then of course, if we are going to simplify y over 1, so that is equal to y. So yan po yung dahilan kung bakit ang sine theta natin is equal to y. So that is here in trigonometric function. So now let's proceed to cosine theta. So we're done with sine, so, and then we are already in ka. So ka. So cosine ka adjacent is equal, or cosine theta is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. So again, let's identify the adjacent and the hypotenuse. So sine or cosine theta, so we have the theta here. So adjacent is x, and then hypotenuse is equal to 1. So therefore, the value of our cosine theta here is equal to x over 1. Or simply, we have x. And that is the explanation. So that's why cosine theta is equal to x value, and then sine theta is equal to y value. But of course, in trigonometric function, it is not only composed with sine and cosine. We still have 4. Okay? So let's proceed to tangent. So we're done with sine and cosine, SOHCAH, and then we're already in TOA. So tangent is equal to opposite over adjacent. So if we're going to take a look again at the figure, so we have here opposite does y, and then of course our adjacent side is x. So therefore tangent theta is equal to y over x. So we cannot simplify this anymore. So this is already the final answer. So tangent theta is equal to y over x. Now, so meron din tayo ditong madiderive pa. Since if you're going to take a look, or if you're going to observe, ang sine theta is equal to y. Ang cosine theta is equal to x. So therefore, itong y could be sine, and then itong x could be cosine. So therefore, we can imply that tangent theta is equal to sine over cosine. So remember that again. So tangent theta is also equal to sine over cosine. Okay, next. So we're done with the fundamental ratio. So once naman nakuha na natin yung, or fundamental function rather. So once nakuha na naman natin yung fundamental, so napakadali nang makuha ng reciprocal. Kasi nga, so we're just going to reciprocate the value. Okay, so ano ang kabaligtaran or reciprocal ng sine theta? So we have cosecant theta. And then again, we're just going to reciprocate the value of sine theta to get the value of cosecant theta. So ito na yung gamitin natin para mas madali nating i-reciprocate. So kung ang sine theta is y over 1, so therefore ang cosecant theta is equal to 1 over y. So again nga, reciprocate lang. And then ang cosine theta, ang reciprocal niyan ay secant theta. And that will be equal to 1 over x. Okay, and then last one will be the reciprocal of tangent theta, which is cotangent theta, which is equal to x over y. So binaliktad lang natin. And these are the trigonometric function. So sine theta is equal to y, cosine theta is equal to x, tangent theta is equal to y over x, cosecant theta is equal to 1 over y, secant theta is equal to 1 over x, and cotangent theta is equal to x over y. Now, let's try to identify the value of sine 30 degrees. Okay, so alam nyo na yung trigonometric function. So in sine 30 degrees, so alam natin na ang sine theta is equal to y value. So if we're going to explain this, ibig sabihin, if we're going to locate 30 degrees, so yung 30 degrees in unit circle, So meron yung corresponding coordinates. So yung 30 degrees ay may corresponding coordinates. Ngayon, so to find the value of sine 30, so we just have to get the y coordinate of 30 degrees. So if you have your scientific calculator, so you can use that here in our discussion. So you can look for sine 30 degrees. Ngayon, I'm going to show you a figure wherein nandito na lahat yung label ng unit circle. So this one. So for the first timers, of course, this is a little overwhelming with a lot of numbers, and then yung numbers is not really simple. So merong mga square root and then fraction, no? So let's look at the value of sine 30. So the first thing we have to do is to look for 30 degrees. So 30 degrees is here. So if we're going to take a look, so 30 degrees, so ito po yung coordinates or yung point niyan ng 30 degrees. Now, ang given natin is sine, so we just have to look for the y coordinate since sine theta is equal to y. So ang coordinates po ng 30 degrees is equal to square root of 3 over 2 and then 1/2. Now, sine 30 degrees, we can say that this is equal to 1/2 since ang sine theta nga is the y coordinate. Okay? So next, cosine 135. So baka kasi mamaya hindi nyo nakuha agad yung sa sine theta. So let's have another example. So cosine 135. So again, so we just have first to identify the value or the equivalent. So kapag cosine theta, so that is equal to x value or x coordinate ng given angle. So next, we need to look for 135. So 135 is here. So ito po yung 135. Ngayon, ang point niyan ay ito po. So ito po yung point niyan. If we're going to take a look, ang coordinates niyan ay negative square root of 2 over 2 and then square root of 2 over 2. So therefore, since ang cosine theta is x coordinate, so what is the value of cosine 135? So that will be negative square root of 2 over 2. Kasi yun nga po yung x coordinate ng 135. Now, madali lang siya kung merong ganito. Kumbaga sa exam, di ba parang naka-open notes kayo. But hindi ito yung point ng discussion natin. So you need to understand on how to look for the value of the trigonometric function. So yung discussion natin will not stop here. So actually, hindi pa talaga tayo totally yung nag-uumpisa kung paano natin hanapin yung trigonometric function. So nasa introduction pa lang tayo. So what if kung wala yung chart? Okay? So for example, I will ask you to find the sine 240. So you don't have any chart. So hindi nyo makukuha. Okay? So unless you try that typing in your scientific calculator. Okay? And of course, in this chart, ang exposed lang dito is sine and cosine. So how about the other trigonometric function like tangent, cosecant, secant, and cotangent? Okay? So, yung pinakita ko kaninang guide natin, so yun yung susundin natin. Okay?